Okay, we're here to basically talk about project management, talk about its importance and why organizations need project management. Okay, it's basically why I'm having this video. Okay, so I want to start with this one. This phrase that says, if you have not got it, you've got a problem. You know, if you have not got project management, you have a problem, you know. And I believe it's one of the things that many organizations are basically using to becoming competitive, you know. So it's the essential complementary thing that we need to survive in today's competitive market. So I believe you have not got project management. If it's not in your management system, you have issues, okay? And as we go on, you understand why. Let's get into today's business environment a little bit. How do we do business today? Now we all attest to the fact that we've moved away from monopoly to perfect competition. You know, we are in a competitive market, you know, and there's excess supply. Many substitute an identical product on the market, you know. So how do you become successful? You need to be paying attention to what consumers want and what do they look out for. They look out for price, they look out for time, they look out for customer satisfaction, they look out for quality. Okay, we call it the competitive model. Time to market, having a competitive price, you know, achieving quality and customer satisfaction. Okay, and to be competitive, that's how come we call it a competitive model. To be competitive, you need to be achieve all of these components, you know, in the competitive model. If you cannot achieve them, you cannot succeed. You can't even contend in today's competitive market. Okay, so basically just get what consumers want if you want to become a difference maker. But it's not easy to gain what consumers want if you want to make timelines, if you want to stay within your budget, to be able to come up with a competitive price. If you want to achieve quality and customer satisfaction, it takes some work. Something has to give. You need to have some proper, well-organized structure in place. And that structure we're talking about is project management. Okay? So we realize that for organizations to basically contend in today's business environment, they should be able to get what consumers want. They should be able to do things differently. You know, that is why you see many organizations, you know, coming out with new products. You know, that's one reason why project management is very, very important. You know. Many organizations, they want to be competitive, so they have to introduce new products, come up with new strategies, do re-engineering, restructuring, you know. Some of them, because they want to be very competitive, they have to merge, you know, or they have to downsize. This is really happening, you know, or need to come out with new products all the time. Okay, so there's a lot to do to become competitive. There's a lot to do to become a market or an industry leader, okay? And to achieve all these things and to achieve what consumers want, you know, you need to have a proper structure in place. You need to have a proper, well-structured approach, you know, in place. You need to have project management implemented, incorporated into your management system. If project management is missing, there will definitely be problems, okay? Because you cannot meet timelines, you cannot stay within your budget, you cannot achieve quality and customer satisfaction. And what's this project management that we're talking about? It's application of knowledge, skills, tools and techniques to your project activities in order to achieve your objective. This is a textbook definition. You know, it's coming from the PM book. You know, so it's all about you trying to be properly organized in order to achieve your objective. So if you ask me, it's the application of knowledge or exercising wisdom and using tools and techniques in order to achieve your objectives. Okay, so you need to start to think, you need to start to see how you can't be properly organized. You know, everything has to be planned. You know, that's how you start to be properly organized. You start with planning. Okay, so very soon I'll lay in on my 10 PM for PM principles, project management for proper management principles. You know, and I say for everything that you want to do, you need to understand, you need to plan, you need to basically execute it, you need to measure, you need to correct, and you need to complete it. Okay, so understanding is very, very important in everything that you do. You need to plan your work, you need to have that discipline to execute that work, you need to measure, that's basically checking and acting, measure and correct. You know, it resonates with the Deming principles, which says plan, do, check, act. Okay, but I'm saying whatever you want to do, you need to understand it first. You know, then plan it. If you do not understand something, you cannot plan it. So you need to understand it first, then plan it, then execute it. You need to measure to see whether things track to the plan. And if not, you need to correct it. You do that till you complete the project, where you learn lessons and you document it, where you also update your records and everything, prepare your handover report. You know, these are very, very important. These are the main processes in project management. It's that mindset that you need to have, you know, and organizations are really adhering to project management principles. They are using this, okay, and many of them now incorporate project management into their management system. There's a research from Jeffrey Pinto, you know, in his book, he says, his book titled Achieving Project Management, Achieving Competitive Advantage. He stresses that organizations are basically, no matter their size, are becoming properly organized and more competitive through incorporation of project management into management systems. Okay, so these days, if you have not got project management in your management system, you cannot compete. Why do we say this? Because project is not part of business. If you want to compete, you need to get what consumers want, okay? You need to meet timelines. So you need to put timelines to important things that you do. In my principles, the first one is to manage by project. Everything that is very important to you, put a timeline on it. Because customers do not want to see delays. They look out for time. People can deliver on time, okay? And people can churn out competitively priced product. People can also achieve quality and customer satisfaction. This is difficult these days to achieve this competitive model. Is not easy. You need to have a structure in place. You need to have a well-coordinated, structured approach, okay? And that approach is project management, and this is what organizations and I call them smart organizations and government are using to becoming competitive. So I want to repeat this. If project management is not in your management system, your organization will basically suffer, will struggle. It cannot compete because you can never meet the timelines, because you can never come out with competitive price, because you can never achieve quality and customer satisfaction. These things will always be a problem for you because there's no proper approach, no proper system in place. Now let's jump into why project management is important in competitive market. I won't belabor the point. I'll be very brief with this one. Because you have shortened, number one, because you have shortened product life cycles, and I think you can attest to that one. Your phones now, the life cycle are getting shorter and shorter. Every now and then there's a new one. You have iPhone 9, you are happy, and all of a sudden there's a new one for iPhone 9i. It's got some new features, and you're not interested in your old phone again, you want to get that new iPhone, this iPhone X came. Now they've got iPhone, is it XL, with 2 cameras, with additional features. So yours become old and you want to get the new one. That is what is happening in this agile environment. Now people want to see new things all the time. Okay, so in that case you have to be adding new features to your product. So the product life cycles are getting shorter and shorter, and to be able to be coming out with new features, you need to have a system in place that can see to the proper planning of your work, proper execution, proper monitoring and control, continuous improvement and proper closing of your project. Okay, because if you can't do that, you can't compete. Okay, competition, these will basically introduce competition on the market, so you also need to be very fast. I always use this Tintin Top Beat as an example. These days, people, Ghana, we're doing very well because the songs that we come out with are very, very nice. We are in the Tintin Top Beat, so if you are an artist and you want to really take advantage of this one, you need to be very quick, because life cycles of product are getting shorter and shorter. So if you don't have a system in place to come out, to be very quick with your album that is based on the Tintin Top Beat, it will come out and nobody's interested in Tintin Top Beat, it's gone. Okay, so we need that speed to take advantage of trends, and to get that speed you need project management. To get that speed you need a structure in place, which is project management. Now, number 2, why project management is very, very important is because of global market. These days competitions come from every angle. International competition. You don't just experience competition just from within your country. You will be in your country, and you have other people from other countries bringing products, because we are in that global market. We cannot stop them. So whatever product that you've got huge competition from your local competitors and from your international competitors. And people basically look out for, remember I told you what consumers basically look out for: the time, the price, the quality, customer satisfaction. So for them to basically patronize your product, they look out for these things. They don't look out for things from their country. So they wouldn't say they want to be patriotic. So if your product is inferior, they will still patronize. If your product is expensive, they'll still buy it. Okay, if I have to use Ghana as an example, Ghana, we have a company called GTP that basically produces I think cloth, and it's a garment. I don't know the right term to use, but basically cloth, yeah. And these textiles, I think that's the right word to use. These textiles, you've got some coming from other countries like China, Turkey, and all that, and the market has got all these textiles from different countries, So when people get there, they wouldn't say they want to be patriotic, so they go for the Ghanaian textiles. They look out for the cheapest one. Some might not even check whether it's from GTP or from wherever. They will look at the price, and if they think the quality is okay, they'll pick it. So you need to have a structure in place that will basically help you reduce your cost on site, to come out with a competitive price. If you can't do that, you'll be out. And that structure is project management. If you don't have project management in place to make sure, you achieve quality, you'll be out. Okay? So I say there's a lot of companies will be folding up. I don't want to be a prophet of doom, but this has to be said. A lot of companies will be folding up in the next few years if they don't really pay much attention to project management, if they don't start to incorporate project management into their management system, they'll fade out. The last one is increasing complex and technical products. Our products are getting more technical, they are getting more complex. Look at your phones, they are getting more complex and complicated. Lots of features. Okay, it does a lot. The smartphones, they can do a lot. And for you to have a smartphone to do all these things and perform all these functions for you, you need to pay attention to project management. You need to basically have a proper plan in place. You need to check your implementation. You need to see to smooth monitoring and control. You need to be learning lessons and using it to improve. And that's the project management mindset. So if that is absent, there's no way you can come up with a technical, complex product without issues. Your product will definitely have issues. Now we're experiencing that because now the phones, to me, they don't last long, but we need to basically find out from them whether the smartphones are meant to last longer. Of quality, the definition of quality, fit for its intended purpose. So for you to basically judge, for you to basically measure quality, you need to first understand its purpose. Probably the smartphones are meant to take to last for 2 years. If that is the case, I haven't really done a research in that area. If that is the case, then if you have a smartphone that lasts for 2 years, if you got your iPhone X and lasts for 2 years, it's still quality. But if that's not the case, your iPhone X is supposed to last for 5 years and it doesn't, then there might be issues. Because these days smartphones, they don't last for long. You buy them, you start using them, 1 year down the line, they start to give you problems. Okay, but if that is how they have been designed, that's okay. But I don't think they have been designed to last for 1 year. I think at least 4-5 years, or 3-4-5 years. And you can't fold them that much. Without project management, it becomes really difficult for them to churn out complex technical products without issues. Okay, look at what your phones can do. Okay, without that structure, without project management inserted into management system, without proper planning, without proper coordination, without proper monitoring and control, without learning of lessons to see to continuous improvement, without proper closing of project,